so weird. It's so surreal, James. I love it.
It's not a derby game! Hello everybody, welcome back to Jaffin Live with me and Flav. Episode 8? We're on episode 8 already. It's mad, yeah. The season's in full swing. We're nearly in November. It is frightening, but I'm actually quite happy for this year to end. It's been an absolute car crash.
2020?
Yeah. Enjoyed it?
I think it's underrated. Yeah. Catching a lot of heat.
We will get into all the weekend's football. We've got some amazing comments from you this week. Some one or two derby games that we can talk about, and also from those derby games, some very good talking points. We're going to talk about actual football today, Flav. Are you excited? We could touch on last week's games, maybe. How did it? Interesting times for you. We will not be talking about QPR because they can't score goals.
Well, you lost as well, and you concede them.
And what I can also say is that we've got our patron Shane will continue. Rob last week. And actually, for those of you who aren't patrons, but are long-term lovers of both One for the Weekend and James and Flav for Now, Rob Turner has an amazing story about how he utilised one of the bits from One for the Weekend out on a night out, and it worked. He will be telling us that in the next Mailbag podcast, which we do Mondays or Tuesdays. And Flav hasn't heard it. I've heard it. It's absolutely amazing. And we're helping people, Flav. We're helping people. It's amazing.
Good. That's good. What does that? If people don't know what a mailbag is, what?
Mailbag is basically all your questions, whatever you want us to talk about. You put them in our Patreon post when I put them up, and then we talk about them. We even touched on the very difficult subject of ranking rice, bread, potatoes, and pasta. Tricky. Let us know in the comments below. But as I said, this is a football podcast, believe it or not. Quote of the pod, Will Allen Smith. So this last week, if you missed last week's pod, go check it out. It's bizarre. Will Allen Smith said, quote of the pod this week has got to be Flav. I got a D in maths, so I'm not I'm not Stephen Hawkins. I always wondered, Flav, but thanks for clearing that one up. Great podders, as always.
You missed the gag. It was the gag. The gag has been cut off that.
Oh, but actually, what did you say after that? I can walk though, which is...
What's wrong with that?
I mean, it's factually accurate. Factually accurate.
Well, I'm alive. Sorry, I meant I'm alive.
Yeah, true. Comment of the week.
Confusing about. He's like, it's always the weirdest story about Stephen Hawkins. It's that his nanny used to beat him up. What could you possibly have done to offend her so much so you punch him? What's all that about?
Yeah. That's such a weird thing to drop at the start of a podcast. What is that? What? That was just that is so good, isn't it? There's so much of that. I wonder if there's that about footballers where you go, he I swear there used to be one about Ken Moncal. Ken Moncal he was. I mean, I guess it's like the allegedly bit that we have, and we've actually got a new brainwashing this week, which blew my mind when I read the comments. You guys in the comments were amazing last week, so keep it up this week. But there is things like certain people, like was it Richard Gere used to eat gerbils or something, or stick them up his bum?
No, he used to put gerbils up his arse.
Yeah, like what? As if it's, well, of course it's not true, but it's all we're going to talk about when we bring up his name.
It's urban legend, isn't it?
Urban legends, yeah, love it. Get your urban legends in the comments below.
Football urban legends.
Football urban legends. Comments of the week. D. Cunningham. This pod is all about footy and not about footy at all. Lots of sharp facts, very few calm takes. Flav's misanthropy and James's endearing positivity. Been with you since Long Ball Street podcast days and still love you. Keep up the great work. Thank you, D. Appreciate that. Charlie Peach says, love how this podcast is becoming more and more niche. Any new viewers not understanding the simple concept of Everton versus Liverpool not being a derby game are instantly labelled a little slug. Rightly so.
They, I feel like we've got enough. We've got enough listeners, we've got enough viewers. This is all we need. Yeah. Like if you've got a kid, if you're having your missus and you want a baby, you don't just keep banging babies out, do you? Like after 2, you're like, fucking need a life. Yeah. A bit irritating. They're more irritating than I thought they were going to be.
I would suggest this is more of a test. If you come in and you can get past 10 minutes of this podcast and get it, you're a higher level of human. You're a higher level. You're a better person. Fact.
But also, James, you know how difficult it is to get people to spend 10 minutes with you on any piece of content in YouTube.
Yeah.
The fact that we're making it more difficult for ourselves is actually, I like it.
Mm. Yeah.
Let's make it as hard as possible for people to enjoy this content.
Well, I'll put it simply. Fleischer236 says, considering there's a huge body of football content on YouTube, I'd say this show is the balls. Very crucial that the word "the" is there before balls, because if you just say it's balls, then it sounds bad. But it's the balls. Crucial.
James, it's like there's so much football content. Like there is tons. If we can't just, I don't want to sit here for an hour and just talk about football in the same way as everyone else does. I will kill myself.
Cool. But we will be talking about football. Don't worry about it, because Spurs is banging in goals for fun. See how I get him in, guys. Guys, if you want to spot the nuance of it, or this is me doing, I just reel him in. Little Spurs are doing all right at the moment. Come on in. You come in for a second. Talk about football for a second. Come on, it's gonna be fine. Little Spurs are doing all right at the moment. Come on in. Come in for a second.
We've got someone in the Discord, haven't we?
All right. Someone's coming in our Discord. That's a shame. Who was that?
And was playing us on.
Yeah, turn your radio down. We'll cut that bit out. That was weird.
Keep it in.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. So what else have we got in here? Jacob Hayes. This is interesting. I thought this is quite a good talking point, because we do talk about... I think we were aware enough of football fans to take the mick out of football fans and generally what they do. That is part of the nuance of this podcast. But Jacob Hayes said this: my worst thing about modern fans is the desperation they have to hear fans of other clubs say good things about their club. I read that and I thought, Flav will like that.
That's good.
Thoughts?
It's good. It's because, like, you know what I fucking hate, right? Is when you get beat by someone who's... No, you beat someone who like they're a lesser team. Like if Spurs beat QPR, right? And it would be Liverpool guilty for Liverpool, Man United, any club in the top six are guilty about being graceful in victory. Nothing worse than a fan who's graceful in victory. Graceful in defeat is difficult. Being graceful in victory is the easiest thing in the world. So it'd be how Liverpool fans and Klopp were talking. And actually, everybody, forget not just Liverpool, because I feel like I'm picking on Liverpool, not, right?
Liverpool cracks coming up later.
Everybody talking about Leeds. Yeah. Like, but they're good, they're the plucky little Leeds. If I was a Leeds fan, I'd be like, what the fuck? Get to fuck. You remember what we're about? I mean, everybody hates us. Dirty Leeds is what we're named. Not, Leeds are good, aren't they? Leeds are nice. Saying it's not your job to talk about other clubs in a positive light. No respect, all hate. That's football. Yeah,
I think if it was body language, what Jacob's saying is you don't want a fan to be like, love me. What you want is a chest out like that, chest out like tight top lip, as in like I'm not afraid of no one because I'm Rangers, and that's what I think. Yeah. That's what in the world of mime, which I think is an important thing to touch on. That's where it would be. Alec Harris, piranhas are out for Lampard. Cracks forming at Liverpool. Watching this show is like getting the results for the weekend before they've been played. We did say that. We also said, and we'll get onto it in a bit, but just to highlight the amount of predictions that we're offering up here, guys, this is the value that you're getting with this podcast, is we also said boycott West Brom Burnley, and it was a stinker. It was an absolute stinker. So well done, Flav. Well,
that happened?
That game happened, yeah. That game happened.
I thought it was this weekend.
No. that was last. What you thought I was just giving you a warning? Right, it's 2 weeks away. We do a weekly podcast on a Thursday talking about the weekend's games, but don't worry, this one's for next week. Why did you think it was the week after?
I don't know. I just forgot it was happening, and I thought it would be in this. I don't know, mate. What was the score?
0-0.
Oh my god.
No.
Can I just say, because I don't want to forget what an incredible initiative that's going on at the moment. It's charity, not PPV, where people, instead of paying the £15 to watch the Premier League games, they are instead donating that money to their local food bank. Newcastle fans started it. They've raised 20 grand already.
Wow.
Spurs fans in the Tottenham food bank are on their goal was 100,000. They're on 75,000. This is incredible. Like, I know football is about partisanship and all that sort of shit I said just a minute ago. But the fact that as a reaction to being charged £15, football fans who have been much derided for many a year have instead jumped on an initiative and putting their own money in and funding food banks who shouldn't even need to exist in the modern age, but they do. So it's just an amazing thing. So it's hashtag charity, not PPV. If you want to donate to your local food bank, every club in the in the Premier League, every single one has fans that run their own initiative.
I'll tell you what. Send me the link to that. I'll put it in the description. That's amazing. I spend £10 on. So should I stop watching Championship games? What's the
you can pay. Oh. It's just you can watch it. It's just you've got to put the equivalent amount in the food bank.
Well, I'll pay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Also, a final comment I missed. Larry Zachowski, his favourite comment from last week's pod was, "Well, we're all going to die, Jim." He then says, "A football podcast." Interesting. That's true.
What
you said last week? You went, "We're all going to die, Jim." I was like, "Yep, really good point. Really good point." Now, this has become my favourite bit of the podcast, and what is wonderful, keep getting them in because I've got a bit right at the bottom of my running order. Where if we have too many of something, I'll put them down the bottom in case it's a bit of a dry week, and then I pop them in the next week. Because Ref Diggs is really gathering steam here, and I'm really excited about it. For anyone who doesn't know, right at the start of this, we spoke about as a centre midfielder, you're often in close proximity to the referee. You're trying to gain an advantage. How can you do that? Or if you're just frustrated and you want to let off some steam and get in the head of a referee, how can you do it without swearing? We were looking at words that can be used that don't involve swearing. Like I think we had donkey at one point. And clown was a good one as well.
Clown and donkey would get you sent off.
Yes, quite possibly.
You're a donkey. You are a donkey.
Yeah. If we are continuing on this theme of miming, I'm going to do another one for you now, Flav. This is sort of tiptoeing along the line of am I going to get booked for dissent or not? But ultimately, on a technical level, you can't book me for this. That's what we're looking at. We've got some absolute belters. So yeah, if you put one in last,
let's just repeat it. Jim's one is
you're lost. You're lost. Ref, you are lost, mate. Mate's quite important. Ref, you are lost, mate. Out of your depth.
Because there's an element of concern there. It's
it's not a threat.
It's just getting in the heads of rep. It's brilliant mind games.
It's so good. And it's not just me.
You are lost. Mate.
You are lost, Ref. This is so good. I absolutely, honestly, every one of these. If you can, often I read the comments and I'll laugh out loud, and that's when I know I've got a belter. Michael L. Bram. Whenever the referee starts to get annoying, I always used to say. Sorry. Whenever the ref starts to get annoying, I always used to say, "Ref, keep up." Implying that he's not good enough for the game. Then I'd walk past him a couple of times and say, "That wasn't a good decision." Or that one. Or that one. It's a three-part series. I love it.
I saw that and I liked that wasn't a good decision.
Yeah, or that one. Or that one. And it really just gets in his head, or her head. After the match, I walk over, shake his hand and say, "Great game. Is that your match ball?" If he has the ball. Is that your match ball? So patronising. Is that your match ball? Very good.
What do you think of...
Who'd be a ref?
Yeah. What makes a referee? Is it someone who can't...
Tell me what makes a ref. Sorry.
Can't play but wants to be involved. Because it's like what? It's not fun, is it? You're missing out on all the fun bit. And what your job is to spoil everyone else's fun. So what kind of person becomes a ref? Don't get it.
Yeah, it is dog.
And at that level, obviously, like at schoolboy level, it's horrible.
Do you know what? That's a great question for if you are a ref. Good luck to you. But what personality traits do you generally see in refs? Like what?
Wankers, aren't they? They're wankers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It might be something like, like people who are like obsessed with FPL. They like being right. They like calling it. I called it. I told you, and that's fine. And we all love that. It's always a great moment. But referees, is it a similar thing? Do they like being right?
Yeah. No, I think it's a power thing. I think it's like they're on the power trip.
They certainly don't want to be liked, do they? They're not bothered about that.
Yeah, it's not like they want, and it's not like we're policemen. You might prefer the same thing at policemen, but you could say that there are some policemen out there that they feel like they're doing a good job and that they make the world a bit safer, right? Whether you agree with that or not is not the point. It's that some of them may feel that way. But with refs, they're not making the game better, are they? If anything, they're making it worse. They're breaking up play. They're calling offside decisions. They're intruding into the fabric of the game through VAR. They just make everything worse.
They're not really getting a chance to. At the top level, they're like, I love spoiling people's fun. And then there's a machine doing it. That's annoying. You get to the top level. We've got one more. I've got a couple saved for another week. Elliot Lacey. I told a ref once he was in the wrong job. and he
you're in the wrong job, mate.
You're in the job. And he responded saying that I was too. Fair to say he had me there. Well, this is where you've got that wrong, Elliot, because you could have gone, well, no, I paid to do this. You're getting paid to do this. So it's not a job for me, mate.
This is a leisure activity. I don't go up to you, referee, and you're swimming and go, well, you're in the wrong job.
Yeah.
Get out of the swimming pool.
Sorry, I've got one more actually for this
Bowling
week.
with the missus. They're leisure activities.
Leo said, new phrase to the ref. New phrase to the ref? One phrase to the ref, or whatever he's saying. He will go to the ref and go, you all right, mate? Like, concerned.
So,
you all right,
passive.
mate? Yeah, so passive. Really good.
That's good.
Ref, are you okay? He's just running. He's like, what? Amazing.
You okay?
Okay, still to go. We're going to be getting to the derby games very, very shortly. But unfortunately, Flav, cracks are appearing at Anfield at the moment. We did call it a couple of weeks ago. We were worried, and more are forming day by day at the football club. Obviously they're trying to tear down the game we love, first and foremost. But on the pitch as well, things aren't going very well. Sorry, go on.
James, sorry. We don't really need this segment while there are actual cracks forming. Like, the reason why we come up with this bit was that Liverpool were unstoppable, and to give us some sanity, we had to try and find these cracks that may or may not have been there. But now there are actual cracks appearing there. Do we need to move this in?
Do we? Yeah. I mean, what are you saying? Do you think we need to move on from Liverpool cracks, or
until they start winning again, and then we'll look for the cracks?
Yeah, I mean they did. They won the Champions League, didn't they?
All right, then tell me their cracks. Then tell me where they are.
Well, I think there are problems. It's quite clear. Obviously on the pitch last week, drew 2-2. Should they have won it? Yes. They should.
Yes, they should.
Are they? Obviously, I think the biggest crack of all, seriously, is obviously Van Dijk not being there. What are they going to do? What are they going to do in terms of centre back? It's going to be very, very interesting. But we'll get onto that in a bit. Philip Brown, former Hull manager, Phil Brown, has commented in. Hi, Phil, if you're watching. Do you know what I was thinking of a new bit, but it's made for another time. And it's weird because when I saw Philip Brown, it made me think of the new bit. Was people in football that just make you feel a bit sick. Phil Brown is one of those for me. He's just a bit too orange.
Yeah, Adrian Charles. Just look at him and just feel like, a bit like nauseous.
Yeah, it's sort of indigestion, nausea kind of thing. Phil Brown's one for me. I have another Liverpool crack, guys. Just listening.
Footballing personalities that make you feel a bit sick.
If you see any Liverpool cracks, we'll see. We'll make the call up next week. See if we still need to kind of try and bring them down to the level of the rest of the league. Just listening to the 5 Live EuroLeagues podcast where they were discussing the German national team.
You fucking love football, didn't you? You ain't spent enough talking about it. You listen to podcasts about it as well.
I do too.
Sorry, carry on.
They were discussing the German national team. They are defensively in disarray at the moment, and it seems as though the finger is being pointed at Joachim Low. When I see the words finger and Joachim Low, I think it's something very different.
Picking his bum.
He picked his bum and he smelt it. He smelt it! What's he doing? Come on!
Is he still there then? Is he?
Yeah, man, he loves it.
Time to go.
I think he knows he's just had. He's a manager of a very good nation and won't be able to cut it at club level. Joachim Low, whose reign as Germany manager may be coming to an end soon. Jurgen wouldn't, would he? Suggesting that Jurgen could be the next manager of Germany. Cracks appearing at Liverpool Football Club. Oh dear.
No, not at this stage. One thing.
I mean, he could take the job, though, couldn't he? Though?
I mean, he could. I mean, why wouldn't he? It's a big job.
It's a job, and it's there.
Big job.
And he could take it, but he couldn't.
I mean, he could take it. But I feel like he's loyal, and he wouldn't leave Liverpool just like that. He would run his contract out and then move. So, and he knows, like, he can take that German as soon as that's available, and he's in a position where he can move. It's his.
It's a bit like Jose, isn't it? Jose, whenever he fancies it, he'll just go, "Yeah, I think I'm going to go manage Portugal now." Like, if he just gets bored, he'll go. Do you think he would? Wouldn't he? He'd love the England job. He'd love it.
Yeah, he'd be perfect. It'd be the first time I think that he would have. I don't know how he'd react to Jose Mourinho, because he is like tempestuous. If things are not going right, he's quite volatile, hates everyone, comes across that way. But when things are going, and that is that's probably the most difficult part of the.
Fam's just Fam's just brought me an amazing lunch.
What?
Well, I can't eat it, can I? Because we're podcasting.
What was she still there?
Fam, come back. Yeah, she's coming back. Oh, Fam.
What is it she's made?
She's made like a fish cake salad. Oh, bless her. Nice.
That is nice, but it's also a bit rude because I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, Flav's trying to talk, Fam. She's gone. All
right.
Anyway.
All right, bro.
Sorry, the nuances of German football. Go on. Anyway, Liverpool cracks. Joe 5494. My brother worked in catering in Anfield for a few years. He said the mashed potatoes were average at best. Cracks Cracks at the football club. AK the producer, Liverpool crack. The absence of Dejan Lovren. These are the ones I actually prefer. These ones. The absence of Dejan Lovren from the Liverpool dressing room has caused the absence of a leader in the team.
Ooh.
Cracks.
I mean, they have. I mean, when did he leave? Did he go last
summer? He went in the summer. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, they have. I mean, I don't think they conceded 7 when Lovren was in the team or the squad or the change room. Yeah. It's mad how much Lovren rates himself, though. He's a lunatic. He thinks he's like.
He scored a belter this week.
Did he?
Yeah, he scored a belter from outside the box. Smashed it on right.
Is it Polter who plays for RB Leipzig? See his volley. Oh,
Polter.
Right, it's like a Van Basten-esque.
I haven't seen it.
Polter. Oh, it's an absolute belter we got.
And finally, Stretch. Cracks are appearing. It is Liverpool's 10th loss in the last 118 Premier League games. That was before the draw against Everton. Huge cracks.
Cracks.
Very strange. Very scary times for everyone at Liverpool. Just hang in there. Hold tight. I'm sure you'll be fine.
You'll get through it. You're only going to win the league by 10 points this year.
Exactly.
Cracks.
Couple of derby games this week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a couple. Let's have a look at those games. Hang on.
Can you share your screen? Stop being selfish.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to find said fixtures. Where are they? There they are. Here are the fixtures. Aston, you can't see it at the moment, but Aston Villa versus Leeds, West Ham versus Man City, Fulham versus Crystal Palace, Man United versus Chelsea, Liverpool versus Sheffield United. Can they stop those cracks? Sheffield United struggling obviously at the moment. Then on Sunday got Southampton, Everton, Wolves, Newcastle, Arsenal, Leicester, and on Monday Brighton versus West Brom and Burnley versus Spurs. Now you look at that, some people might not see any derby games. They would be mistaken. However, not everyone got it, Flav. Not everyone got it. Not everyone got it.
What are they not getting?
A few games there. Not everyone got it. One person in particular didn't get it. Jackmate didn't get it, did he? Jackmate get it. Jackmate went Fulham Palace, both London clubs. It's not. He's supposed to. Jack Mate, his name is. Jack Mate. It's not a derby game! Jack! You're supposed to be... You're like one of the funniest guys on YouTube, mate. And it's clearly... It's not derby.
It's so weird. This is so surreal, James. I love it.
It's not a derby game! Jack, mate, we're not mates, mate. We're not mates. With filth like that. Fulham and Palace both London. It's not a derby game.
I mean, it's not actually.
It's not a derby game.
South London. Is it? London. Can you? Could it be, James? Could it be that our friend Jack is in on the joke here? Because of.
I don't know, but his grammar's all over the place as well.
You don't have a full stop. I mean, you don't have a capital letter in the middle of a.
Yeah. This week's English lesson. Anyway, let's try our best to move on from that because there are a few derby games in there, which we will reveal right now. Just to say, actually, this is quite interesting. We actually had a comment. Alec Harris said, because obviously every week we go, what is the Flav will never know the score to this game derby.
I think it's to stand out.
Well, Alec Harris says, I'm not in the business of deciding whether something is or isn't a hot take. Decide for yourselves. The Flav will never know the result of this game derby has hit a fork in the road. We all know what's about to happen. Monday night will roll around and Flav will receive a barrage of tweets from loyal listeners informing him of the result of the soon-to-be boycotted match between West Brom versus Burnley. So much so that he will indeed find out the result of that game, which leads me to believe that the second ugliest match between Fulham and Sheffield United will in fact become the Flav will never know the result of this game derby, which this is obviously from last week's games. How will this new cycle of thinking toy with the minds of listeners? Chaos. Cracking pod. Thank you very much, Alex. And then if we look at some of the options this week in terms of the derby games, the ones that Flav won't ever know the answer to, even in the tweets, even on Twitter itself, it's really messing with the minds of the Jeff and lovers. The James and Flav community page says so many contenders for Flav not knowing the score, but I'm going to go Villa and Leeds. Wab says, nah, it's got to be Fulham versus Palace. And Jamie said, are we forgetting Brighton versus West Brom here? It's really turning into a bizarre little debate, Flav. But who will win out? Let's find out. Who are you going to go with, mate? We've got all the games there in front of you now.
Have I? Okay, so I think there's two.
Do you subscribe to that? The thinking of Alec that actually it's the second ugliest game. I mean, it's difficult. It's a fork in the road. It really is.
You got to be aware that I don't even read my ads, so I generally don't find them.
So many.
Well, it's not that. It's just don't want to. So we've got Fulham and Palace is definitely a contender. I like Brighton. I like the way they play, and I quite like them to give West Brom a little bit of a pumping.
Okay.
Fulham and Palace, I have zero interest in at all. The other day, I was on the I was listening to the radio, and they kept going back to the Palace and Palace and who are they playing?
Palace are playing Sheffield United. What? And you were like, I'm going to imagine you driving. You go, stop it. Stop going back to that game.
I put on Radio 4 because they kept talking about that game. It was so... They were going, Palace have only got 18% possession. You're like, fuck, what is that?
See, there's a bit of brainwashing going on here. And we're part of the problem. Because it's stuff like this that is leading to this European Premier League.
In what way?
Because we're just going, that's crap, that's boring.
I'm all for reducing the size of the Premier League to get rid of some of the guff.
You don't mean that. Well, as in Liverpool, Man United.
No,
well, you're on your way. You're on your way to the European Premier League.
I mean the shit.
Bye. Off you go.
There is no chance that Daniel Levy wouldn't be all over that, given if he had the opportunity. No chance.
That.
Listen, it would be. I think out of the two, it'd be Fulham and Crystal Palace. I think it's going to be such a dull game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Spurs versus Burnley might be a bit of a stinker as well because Burnley just know how to fucking.
Well, yeah, I think I had one for that. which was I think there was one was like, oh, this is it. This is the only time Flav will watch Burnley derby. One person was saying that. Also, of course, the Burnley Spurs is it's a big one. It's the Joe Hart backup keeper derby.
I've been impressed with Joe Hart so far at Tottenham, I've got to say.
What, sitting?
No, he's played 3 games.
Has he? When?
Yeah, he played Europa League games. 3 Europa League games.
Right.
Hasn't let himself down yet. Has not let himself down.
Good.
He's won more trophies than our entire football club. But in like 4 decades. So, a bit hard to criticise him.
I love the idea that him bringing in that, like, you know, he's won things.
Winning mentality.
No, is that going to help? That's going to just spread like osmosis to the rest of the squad. Ridiculous. Anyway, Arsenal versus Leicester. I thought this was interesting. Bobby Turner, who's in the chat right now, is a loyal patron. Arsenal versus Leicester is that we should. So we had a good one and a bad one. One's a good talking point. We're about to talk about football, guys. Strap yourselves in. First of all, we said this is a stretch. The Arsenal versus Leicester game is that our nicknames make up a Tory policy, derby. The Gunners versus the Foxes. But actually, the one I thought was interesting was that he said Arsenal versus Leicester is we should make the top 4 this year derby. But he didn't put a question mark on at the end of that. So the question I have is, can you see Arsenal or Leicester City actually, without getting really angry,
yes, okay,
finishing there? Because both of them, I think, they probably had aspirations of that kind of, you know, of the Champions League. They're kind of there or thereabouts. But
yeah. I mean, Leicester. But of course, both teams could finish in the top 4. But it's so open. It's such a weird season that it's really hard to see any team other than Everton, who are playing consistently well. Obviously, Villa have won 4 of their first 4 games, game in hand on everyone else, and they're second, which is unbelievable. They've conceded 2 goals all season. 2 goals.
Amazing.
Best defence in the Premier League. So it's really difficult. I don't know the answer. Yes, both teams can get in there, obviously, and they should on merit, you know, and the status of their team.
I struggle with the word "should" there. I don't think they should. Well, I think watching the Arsenal Man City game last week, that I can see what he's trying to do in terms of, like, he's building this foundation. It is a bit boring, and I actually think, you know, I was thinking about this. You know, Harry Redknapp used to always say, "Look, it's about players. It's about players. Get the best players on the pitch. Let them do the thing." And actually, I was listening to Paddy Kenny on the Under the Kosh podcast. There's an Under the Kosh podcast. Got these old ex-Football League players, and Paddy Kenny was talking about Neil Warnock and the season they went up. They said to him, I think they won what was it? They'd won the first 5 games on the trot in the season we won the league, and he gave. It was then an international break, and you were going to get 4 or 5 days off. But he said he was so buzzing with us because we were 2-0 down against Derby with like a couple of minutes to go, and then drew 2-2. He said, "Right, forget it. You can all have the week off." And he basically gave them all the week off, and they all went to like Dubai or wherever and got smashed for 6 days, and then came back. Right. Then when they came back, he said to him, "I tell you what, win 3 of these next 6, I'll give you another week off." And they won the next 3 games, and so like it worked again. The point I'm getting to is, do you think it can still be as base as that? Because I think all these teams, you know, when people talk about identity and how you play and understanding how you play and the whole team understanding how you play, I think there's more teams that have that identity than ever before. Like, could you still just put together a bunch of players? Because the point I'm saying with this is that I think Arsenal have got a very clear way of playing at the moment, but I wonder if it's at some point going to be to their detriment in terms of like the sort of focus on Aubameyang on that left hand side, getting him the ball and allowing him to do something when he cuts in, because it's so obvious. But also, like, when we talk about Chelsea versus Man United, we're going to talk about those 2 managers, and both of those guys, are they good managers or have they just got good teams at the moment? So anyways, going from the initial question I'm asking really is, can you just have good players and win games now in modern football? No, it needs to be a part of both. I think you'll get a lot more out of a what am I trying to say here? There's the weaker team
can be, more than the sum of the parts by how the manager manages the team. You get much more out of a motivated squad, even if they're lesser players than a really talented squad that isn't motivated. It's that old cliche, and it's like it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. So I think that applies, but it really helps if you've got great players. And great players aren't just ones that are technically gifted; they're ones that are motivated and easy to motivate. I think
and intelligent within a system, right? Because that's the other thing is I think Arsenal and Leicester, maybe if they were playing exactly the way they're playing now. What am I trying to get across here? I'm trying to sort of highlight that, literally, if you go through the league, everyone kind of has their way of playing. Even the likes of a Burnley or a Crystal Palace have a way where it's it's not it's not the prettiest, but it gets them points. I think West Brom, everyone kind of has a way of playing, even that. So it's almost getting kind of it's plateauing in terms of the advantage of having those top coaches because we've got so many top coaches. Yeah,
there's tons, and there's a lot of talent in the league as well. A lot of really good players. I think it probably hasn't been as strong, certainly in the attacking sense. It's not as far as I can remember. Arteta seems like he's working on a system, and it's taken time to get it to click into gear. I would worry that not sure how their front line becomes any stronger than it is currently. That front line is just good enough to get into most top 6 side. You got Aubameyang, Lacazette, who's not playing much. Nketiah, it remains to be seen how good he is, but he looks like a really good player. And who are missing Pepe as well. That is
Willian,
front, and Willian as well. The fact, against City, they just didn't go into second gear. It felt like they were just plodding along, and
I don't think they've got one. That's kind of my point. So I think Arteta, the understandable.
Early days,
thing that you would throw at Arteta is that it is boring, and it is a little bit boring, but I think he's got that same idea of Guardiola where he wants to control games. Everyone wants to control games, but I think he thinks the best way of doing it is by having that back three and having a very well drilled team that's going to listen to them at the moment, because they are, but in terms of world class quality, it feels like they're a little short at the moment. And so when they play against Man City, they'll I don't think they'll capitulate, but they'll kind of never dominate. And that's the thing that at this stage, when we're talking about the idea of them being top 4, I feel like I don't know what their plan B is.
If you're going to make a case for the top 4, you'd say defensively they look sound, they look solid. Especially in this mental league where goals are flying in, and they will eventually start scoring goals with that front line. So if they can keep that solidity, if they can continue to trust each other and play out in the back, they'll get enough results that mean that they're definitely in contention in the same way as all the teams around there are. Leicester's a more difficult one because there doesn't seem to be. It seems like they're coming to the end of their purple patch, and I only say that because I watched the West Ham game. I watched 2 games of theirs, both the ones that they lost. The sort of highlights of the game, they lost 1-0. I can't remember where they played.
Villa, yeah.
Villa, and then I watched the entirety of the West Ham game. And West Ham are a good side this year, to be fair, but they completely controlled that game. And you look at the lineup that Leicester put out; it didn't look strong. It wasn't like a few years back where you thought, I'd have him. They'd take 5 players out of that team and put him straight in. It looked like a bit of a hodgepodge squad, and it might be that they're injured. I don't know enough about Leicester to really understand why that was the case, but it was not only that they looked weak. And I said before the game that to a mate of mine that said that doesn't look like a strong side. And then for it to be that thought to be reinforced by the 90 minutes of football I then watched, makes you think that there are other issues at Leicester that perhaps they won't be good enough this year. But it's 5 games in. No one's really settled. How many games are we in? 5?
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's really settled yet, and it's been mad. And this whole COVID thing and not having a pre-season. And
I think I like the idea though of this exuberance, like you're saying, the perspiration. What's the phrase again?
1% inspiration, 99%.
Yeah, I think there might be something in that, because I think when there's so much analytics in football, so much due diligence done in terms of the scouting of the team that you're playing next, you're actually a more dangerous opponent when you're kind of in the formation of your identity as you are when you've actually formed it. Because once you've formed it, then go, right, this is a clear base for the opposition to work against, if that makes sense. Like Leeds, we've got no Leakley Weeds this week, but Leeds would be the only one where I'm like, I don't think it matters if you know what it doesn't matter as much if you know what they're doing. It's just can you cope with it? Yeah, can you cope with it? Chaotic.
I think we're rating Leeds higher than people think they're going to finish higher than they will in the season. If they finish in the top half, I'll be amazed. And that's not me digging Leeds out. It's just the style of play that they're undertaking. They're losing games already. They're conceding too many goals, and the style of play that Bielsa's got in play, and he's always forced these teams to play, means that it's really difficult to keep that going at this level. And that's not to say that they can't come to Tottenham and beat us. I can see that happening easily, but over a season, the truth will out, and I don't really see it with these in the same way that other people seem to. But I'm quite contrary in that way, and I'll buck against what everybody's saying just to be.
I'm intrigued by we need a bigger data set for Leeds. I think they've got Villa this week in the back where we belong derby, according to Ben. That's so true. Villa and Leeds are definitely. There's certain clubs that if they dip into the Championship, they're like, we just don't belong here. Look, let me go. Hang on, give me a lift. Can you just give me a lift up into the Premier League? Fuck off, mate. Fuck off. You go up when you're good enough. Thank you.
And they're both up.
And they're both up. Yeah, back where they belong. Back where they belong.
What was we saying though? Yeah, so I'm not sure. But if you ask me to predict a top four now, I literally no one can with any kind of confidence because it's such a batshit crazy season. Yeah. And might I say, I am loving it. I don't think I've ever enjoyed football as much as I do right now. It's decent. Mad.
Yeah.
It seems which is weird because like even VAR, even though they keep trying to fuck it up, the football is so crazy and there's so many goals and it's so exciting that you almost sort of forget all that shit for a bit. And it was the kind of having to sit through game after game of boring 2-0 wins and the best teams win every week and. Like that game against West Ham Spurs game, obviously it's painful for me. No one wants to see a capitulate in that way. But if you was watching it, you'd be like, this is incredible, right?
Yeah, great for the neutral, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, and that means I'm watching more football and I'm watching more games.
That puts a smile on people's faces. It's not you like you say there is no way you can predict the league at the moment. That said, there is a video coming out on my channel on Friday afternoon. Might have already come out. Go check it out. My predictions for the season, the whole table 1 to 20 after the transfer window is slammed shut. Make sure you check it out. Next up, we've got United versus Chelsea, 5:30 on Saturday. This is the GCSE PE teacher derby.
Nice.
Lampard does look like a GCSE PE teacher.
Well, I've got a vested interest in Pochettino not joining Manchester United, right?
Okay.
Sorry, go on. Well, I don't want him to because I don't want him to join Chelsea either. So when Man United beat PSG, and they won the weekend, didn't they? 4-1, is it? They it just felt like. That's Pochettino definitely not going there then, because they're not going to sack Solskjaer now. They are, and there are other jobs appearing on the horizon for Pochettino.
So Nico says Man United versus Chelsea is we're hoping we won't have to sack our beloved legend and appoint Poch, although it's the sensible thing to do, derby, because you've got this. I think that it's crept in more and more, and I just think it's certainly going to be the topic of conversation for a long time when it comes to Lampard until there's that rubber stamp of some form of trophy or a very, very good season here, because there's this idea that he's not actually as good a manager as everybody thinks. I've been intrigued today.
Third last year.
Yeah, he did. I did all right, but I also don't totally. That it's a good team. Like, it's still a good squad last season. It wasn't a bad squad last season.
No one predicted. He overperformed, I thought. No one.
I think he finished fourth. I think he finished fourth in the end. But yeah, he was third for the bulk of the season. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
No one said that he would. I don't think many people tipped Chelsea for top 4 last season.
But this year, with Liverpool and Man City, Man City wobbling a little bit, I think they're going to get better and better. I felt like I sort of saw them kind of The way they managed the game against Arsenal, I was pretty impressed. And they got players coming back. Liverpool obviously cracks. The mashed potato is not up to scratch, and that could hurt them. And with that happening, then it is open for some of you other guys to kind of knock at the door if you can really catch fire. So the one thing I would say, like with this one, with Man United Chelsea, because Man United, we were saying they're in a bit of disarray. They were after the game against you, but cheeky win at Newcastle, who I do not rate, but win's a win, and it's a bogey team for them previously. Good win against PSG. If they can win this one, I think for both of them, is there something happening here, derby? A little bit.
Yeah, but maybe, but for how long? Like,
we know the piranhas are always out.
Yeah, certainly for those two. Like, I think really, if you're deep down, if you're a Man United or a Chelsea fan, and Abramovich or Edward Wood pulled the trigger on either one of those managers and brought Poch in, I think all of them would be pretty happy.
Well, I was going to come back to that. So Poch, obviously, there's going to be a really strong link with PSG. You were saying before we started this because obviously he was captain. Tuchel's out, but the Premier League's where it's at, and I think he wouldn't mind either of these jobs if he doesn't take the PSG job. Which squad and club do you think Poch is a better fit for? And let us know in the chat, patrons, and we'll read out some of your comments.
He wouldn't join Chelsea. He wouldn't join Chelsea out of loyalty to Tottenham because he's gone on record of being, but that's what he's like. He'd never managed Barcelona because of Espanyol. And he's gone on record saying these things, so I can't see him joining Chelsea. He was the manager of us when we had the Battle of the Bridge, where we just hacked him to pieces. I can't see him joining Chelsea. However, if you move all that stuff to one side, he could do a lot more with that Chelsea squad than the Man United one, I think.
Okay.
The problem Lampard's going to have this year, and what would end up to being sacked and a potential Pochettino takeover there, is that what's being asked of him currently isn't something he's ever done before. Like, he's motivated players at Derby, got them playing at Derby. He's gone to Chelsea as a club legend, easy to motivate. And they're buying a lot of named players who don't have heck care or know anything about Chelsea at all. So the draw of Frank Lampard isn't there anymore. So he's got to Ziyech and Werner, and they don't give a shit about Chelsea and Lampard standing here. So it's like we're walking into the dressing room. By the way, just in case you didn't know, he used to be a legend here, so would you respect him?
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that. So he's. And I'm not saying he's going to fail here. He may do it brilliantly, but he's got to find a way of moulding or amalgamating all those players. It's not easy to do. It's really not.
Yeah, and I guess he's got two problems there. Is like you can't. There's not everyone you can keep happy there. That's one problem. Is Tuchel definitely sacked?
Yeah, sacked. Reddit. Yeah. If he isn't sacked, he's on the ropes. He's going.
I don't think he is. I just searched his name. I can't. It doesn't say sacked.
No, oh, right. Sorry, I might have misread. But he's on. He's. Anyway, go on, carry on.
Okay. One thing he has done is given PSG flops a dressing down in private, says the Daily Star. I think he suits Man United much better. Due to everything that you kind of said there. But I also just think we've kind of gone back and forth with the Solskjaer thing, and I was always at the start. I was like, give this person a chance, and maybe he's not as bad a manager as you think. Because I think everyone initially was like, he's not a good coach. I've now made my mind up. I don't think he is a very good coach. I just don't. I continually don't see it. I don't see how he's making them better as players for the squad that he's got. And the midfield that he's got. And maybe over the next few games that he'll prove me wrong, and this Chelsea game will prove me wrong. But I just don't think he is a good coach. I just don't. There's been too many times where it's been obvious things that he needs to tweak or change. Or make braver calls, I think. I still think he's in this kind of little nice pocket where he can't really kind of lay down the law. He doesn't have that fear factor, and I think that's a bit of a problem. I actually think Lampard has that a little bit more. He probably just doesn't have the same experience, Lampard, at this moment in time. And he's almost got too many options. Chelsea, so that's my test on Lampard will be probably in around, well, you would imagine like now, between now and the end of this calendar year, he should find out what his best team is. And once he's done that, he needs to not completely stick with it, but they all need to know that that's his best team. I do think you need to settle on who your best 11 is. You can move it about because he's got so many games that he's going to have to play. But if he hasn't got the clarity of thought to do that, and he keeps chopping and changing with it, then I'll start to believe that Lampard's maybe like a little bit. You're a little bit out of his depth, maybe. That's what.
Yeah. I don't think, and I don't think like just to reiterate, I said I don't think he should be judged on whether or not he can manage this situation at Chelsea. It don't make him a bad manager if he can't make these many players they bought work. I'd be tempted to edge them in a little bit more slowly than he has. He's kind of felt, I think, maybe under pressure to play these players. I know Ziyech's been injured, but anyway,
it's the defence, isn't it? He needs to sort the defence out, or at least have enough of a security in front of it. I guess you've got N'Golo Kante, so you should be able to find that. Any other? Let's look. Clancy Gilroy. Southampton versus Everton is the not sure how, but we're in Operation Big Picture derby. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to dig out Southampton, but I don't know how they were in that.
It's just the amount of time they've spent in the Premier League, isn't it?
Nonsense.
Since its formation.
Freddie, Saints Everton is the how is Ronald Koeman now at Barca derby? Yeah, fair enough. And also Zaki Waki, the two best English strikers that can't get an international game derby. Well, that said, both did play and score in the recent internationals. Zaki Waki, so factually inaccurate there. Liverpool Sheffield United is have we gotten found out derby, which is kind of what we were talking about. That's going to be really interesting to see how they play. Fabinho played centre back. Matip was injured for the Champions League game. I think they'll just revert to last season, or maybe even the season before that, where this high line thing, they'll chill out with that a little bit and go back to playing the way that they were. They won't be as good as they would be with Van Dijk, obviously, but they'll still be really, really good.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, anyone who thinks Liverpool are going to fall apart is crazy.
Give me your prediction on Chelsea, Man United. What do you think will happen there?
I think Chelsea will win 3-0. 3-1.
Man United have lost their first two home games. Will it be 3 in a row? I think I agree with you. I think they'll win 2-1. Maybe even more. There's so many goals this year. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just I know there's a lot of plaudits about how well Man United played against PSG, and they have just beaten Newcastle with Steve Bruce has a win percentage of 20% and still stays in the job. But they can't have fixed those defensive issues in that time. They were so porous against us, and especially Brighton, who just dominated them. If Lampard sets up correctly, and just with that forward line, you just can't see them not conceding goals. Really.
In big games, there's a pressure to play your big players, and in that Champions League game, you played Tuanzebe. Imagine if Tuanzebe's like Alessandro Nesta. He just never gave him a chance at centre back till now. I mean, that would be amazing. I doubt it'll happen. But he obviously had a very good game. I think I'm right. He brought in Fred and McTominay for that one as well. So and they did all right. So if you want to do that again, like who are you? Who's playing, who's not playing? That he's got some really, really big calls to make there. I'll be intrigued to see how it does with that midfield, because I think Chelsea are starting to get their groove. They're Werner playing centre forward. He needs to play centre forward for me. And Ziyech's starting to play as well. Mendy's back in goal after their game last week, so that'll be useful for them. He's
had two clean sheets in 3 games.
Yeah, it looks decent, doesn't it?
Sniffed that.
Right, let's get on to the real stuff now. Reactive clubs. We're the periodic table. Here it is. People saying, he didn't do helium. I was like, well, I said helium. Let me know who the options are. This week, we're going with, I don't know if that's the helium.
Let's go for Rutherfordium. I've never heard of that.
Really?
No, right. So
well, hang on.
sodium.
No, don't do that to me because I've got the definition of sodium.
I know. I'm sorry.
So this week it's sodium because it was one of the chemicals that I understood.
I know. Not, like it's mad.
It's mad.
You look at the periodic, like, what's all this shit? Everything that makes up everything, right? That's the point. These are. This is. Is this what is this life? This is like every element.
This is life on Earth. Yeah, this is life on Earth. Exactly.
Right. So I should know. I should have heard of fucking.
Oh, do you know they're numbered? This is a good one. This is one good one to have because that's why they were saying do helium because we should have done it second because it's the second element. So today we should have done lithium.
This is not going to last 118 weeks, which we would have to get through them.
Needs a jingle.
Football teams in the England league time, right? So just pick the ones that we can make funny.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the order.
Rob says it needs a jingle. Everything in life, it's everything we know and love in life. It's the periodic table of elements, but which one is a football club? We're about to find out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, that's good.
Sodium this week. If you need a definition for sodium, it's a chemical element with symbol Na. Atomic number 11.
You know you've got an effect on there, Jim. Oh.
Sorry. Should be bad. I was singing the whole thing. That's a long jingle, isn't it? Okay. Do I sound right now? Do I sound normal?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. It's a soft, silvery white, highly reactive metal. Sodium is an alkali metal. Being in group 1.
Salty, isn't it?
It's salt, isn't it? So essentially what we're asking you is, who is the saltiest club in the world?
Good question.
Great question. Let us know.
I've had experiences with Real Madrid fans that I never thought I would.
Really?
They are well salty. Yeah, about Bale. You see the press lambast Bale for his shocking derby debut. He played like 17 minutes and he did this incredible bit of skill. All right, he should have scored, but to get into that position, like they are seething over Gareth Bale. They hate his guts. So I'm going to say Real Madrid.
Interesting. In the chat, we've got Arsenal, we've got Barca, we've got Liverpool, we've got West Ham. 2 Liverpools. Interesting. Let us know in the comments below. We'll find out who the saltiest club is. And just remember, very important this, sodium is highly water soluble. Okay. We move on. Actually, we don't move on because helium. We need to decide. Patron, get ready to vote. This is crucial. This is massive. Who is helium? Helium is Derby County, says Conor O'Shea. It's a colourless, odourless, tasteless, and non-toxic club that sits in the middle of the country. Its boiling point is the lowest among all the elements, and when they are slagged off by Premier League teams, they just cannot react. Commonly used for hot air balloons. That's just as much use as that they have. So he's saying Derby. Only 2 options this week, Derby and, of course, Windsor FC. Sam Burgess says helium is Windsor FC. Colourless, odourless, tasteless. They're almost certainly an irrelevant club. Non-toxic, inert, lowest boiling point. They've only been around for 10 years and they play in a league I've never heard of. Whatever the result they achieve doesn't affect life at all. And I doubt any of their fans, do they have any, care enough to feel any emotion or any emotion of any intensity due to how nothing the club is. First of the noble gas group, it's where Windsor Castle is. Can't get much more noble-like than that. Second most abundant element, Windsor is the Queen. The Queen is everywhere. We can't get away from her. Really weird comment, but it was an option for helium. So vote now. Helium, is it Derby? Is it... and James and Flav community played. Can you just jot all these down? Because I don't know who's what. We might have to come back to it. I'm going to vote for Windsor FC. Windsor, we've got a couple of votes for Windsor. I mean, he put a lot of work in. Everyone's gone for Windsor. Windsor it is. Congratulations, Sam. Windsor is helium.
There is definitely a Windsor FC that this exists, yeah?
There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Managers gaffs. For those of you who don't know, we give you a manager, you furnish their living room with the living room that you think they would have. This week it was Chris Wilder. Flav, if you can think of a manager for next week, that would be great. Do you want a bit? Yes, right now.
Let's
sorry
go.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Okay. That's all right. Let's go with Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce, Newcastle manager, perfect. He just gammon
Steve Bruce has a quarter of his fridge is just sausage rolls.
yeah. Layer upon layer of that and pork pies.
Pies, sausage rolls, and he's all beige. All he eats is beige food.
Okay. Right. Chris Wilder, close your eyes wherever you are. I've been getting into meditation recently, Flav. Patrons will know that from the Mailbag podcast we do. Yes. Anyway, so this might be one to meditate to if you fancy it. Close your eyes and just imagine Chris Wilder's gaff, according to Valar. He says, great emphasis towards individual tapestries, repeated only underneath decking. Though he embraces structure, it doesn't envision safety. That's so weird. Sorry, I just saw Chris Wilder's gaff and put it in there. Apologies, but I actually quite enjoyed it. Adam Lynch manages gaffs. Chris Wilder's living room is solely furnished with British-made furniture, and whilst he sticks to the traditional 2 sofas and a chair, the positioning of them in the room is somewhat visionary in nature. However, many close to him fear in a year's time his forward-looking approach will have caused his missus to leave him for Marcelo Bielsa, who recently moved in around the corner and has stolen his thunder. The Union Jack bunting hangs across the wall, as well as Sheffield's finest stainless steel coffee table, with a cup of Yorkshire tea placed on top of last week's unopened copy of the Sheffield Star. That's what it was. And of course, Full Monty is playing on repeat on the telly.
He just stands, and what he does, he goes in, he's got full Monty on, right, and he's cooking his dinner. He's like, and he's just like, when that bit comes on, he's cooking, he's chips, eggs, and gammon, right? He just does this. He just looks around the corner of the door from the kitchen into the front room, and he's still got one of them old CRT sets, like those big like TVs that he used to have in the 80s. Big brown thing, and he's just like this. It's just like, oh, it's good, this bit. Yeah, I love. Check this bit out.
Take belts off in a minute.
Yeah, and then he goes back and he's eating his dinner standing up in the kitchen. Every now and then having a little look like that, and then when the film ends, he puts his knife and fork down, right? And he looks and he goes, all right, and he walks up to his to the VHS player, because he ain't got DVD, he hasn't gone to DVDs yet. VHS player, and he sits and he just rewinds it. He puts his finger down and rewind it. It's one of them old VHS. They don't stay stuck, so he's got to keep his finger till it goes back all the way to the beginning. And then when it's finished, he presses play again and goes back to his egg, chips, and gammon.
Yeah, and you know he does get indigestion, and he has been told just sit down when you eat your dinner. But he's just like, I just love to eat. I just want to get on it.
He's got a problem with his cholesterol.
Yeah, we've got more. Chris Wilder has a DVD player with loads of kung fu films on Blu-ray. After a long, hard training session, he loves to unwind by watching Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's so weird, and I love it. Managers gaffs, Roy Hodgson. Oh yeah, we got a little mixed up. Actually, let me do the Chris Wilder ones. Matthew Cole. Chris Wilder has cardboard cutouts of the Sheffield United squad in the formation that he'll play the following week, and that's where he does the tactics. Oh, and he has a cabinet with just Bovril in and John Smith's beer, which he mixes together. McSlash manages gas. Chris Wilder lives in a 3-bedroom north-facing cottage in South Yorkshire. While it is traditional and modest in appearance from the outside, it is adorned with modern British furniture on the inside. He bought it for below market value as a DIY renovation project and has now restored it to its original state with a few modern flourishings. The centrepiece of his living room is a leather modular sofa which can overlap and be arranged in various formations to accommodate visitors. The sofa is solid, robust, but not flashy, and sits in the middle of the room, allowing people to go round side if they need to. Sorry, I've done him justice. Go round side if they need to. While the foundations of the house seem to be solid, though they are currently undergoing inspections, there is still some work to be done towards the front of the house, where Chris has recently focused his attention and invested heavily. Very good.
Very good.
Actually, okay, I've got one on Roy Hodgson. Do you want it?
Yeah.
Okay, Roy Hodgson. Well, Zach was not. We didn't ask to do Roy Hodgson, I don't think, but he's given us Roy.
Right, that's fine.
Roy Hodgson's. So close your eyes. Roy Hodgson lives in a semi-detached up a dead-end road. He has a small living room with cream sofas, one with a recliner, brackets, Roy's hot seat, of course. The room smells of Earl Grey and has a fake fireplace, just like Bielsa. He has a separate, smaller room with an old TV. And on the wall, he has pictures and medals from his past jobs, such as the Danish League title. He also uses that room to keep rich tea biscuits, which are a staple in the Hodgson household. He also has a beige carpet running through the house, and in the bathrooms, he only has bars of soap. None of this squirty modern soap. Finally, the garden, a small standard garden with a reasonably well-maintained hedge, with a nice small table and chairs in the corner where Roy sometimes sits and daydreams about Wilfried Zaha. Well done, all of you. Very, very good. Bizarre.
Very good. Some creative shit out there, isn't there?
Really is.
They are some. I mean, like, you should apply this right into, I don't know, like something more productive than our comment section. That said, you are the show, so please don't go away.
Yeah. Last couple of bits. Calm take. I just wanted to highlight this because it really was a calm take. Nothing to do with football. Darren Burgess, calm take. Does James need an ill-fitting pop filter on his mic when it already has one built in? Hashtag calm take on mine. I took it off, so good point.
Why did you put it on?
Because I had it. So right. I popped it on. There's somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
Jamie Evans, can someone explain that? Oh, he'll play and he'll lose joke to me.
He's not lose. He'll play.
And he'll win. Yeah, sorry. And joke to me. It's very funny. I just don't know where it comes from. So yeah, that was mad last week. We just went for it. Big time.
So this is I don't know where it come from. It's just James used to say it in the office at Full Street, and it would make me laugh. And then we just say it to each other.
Yeah.
Because you when you're talking about football, you say, "Oh, he'll play," and you go, "And he'll win." But I don't actually.
So my understanding of it is the reason I created it. Well, I thought of it was like it's a bit like like a film scene where if you get the line, okay, I'll just set you up.
All right.
So in a film, something's going wrong, and you're going, it's the changing rooms before the big game. And on the way to the game, someone, the opposing team's tripped up little Jimmy, and now he's, he could be injured. He's got a hurt wrist, and he's not going to be able to play in this ice hockey game against the Black Hawks. And I come in, and I go to Flav, and I go, Flav, it's little Jimmy. He's hurt his wrist. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play.
Oh, he'll play. He'll win.
There you go. That's essentially what I'm trying to do. I'm just being dramatic, essentially. It's just such an easy thing. Goes like, but is he going to play? Any kind of jeopardy is going, he'll play and he'll win. So that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but it's I don't think too much of it. Don't think too much out of it. But just accept it.
Right, guys, we finish off with patron shame. That's patron shame. Flav, explain it.
Well, it's just a quiz show basically, and if you're a patron, you get to take part because what you're seeing, you lot out there who don't pay for content that we produce, you're seeing a pre-record, right? But the patrons are watching us live and then comments all that shit.
Yeah.
But we've got this quiz show, right? What's it called? Patron of Shame.
Patron Shame. We want to see who's the worst, basically, at quiz.
Whoever wins can win whatever they like. It does, like whatever you want, you can have it. But you have to win. And currently, we've got a leaderboard of just one.
Yeah.
Rob Turner, who has a pathetic score, absolutely embarrassing score of 1. But what I've got to say is the quiz isn't easy, Jim. It's not the easiest quiz in the world. So if you can get above Rob's score of 1, then you can be in the running of winning whatever you want.
What? You could win what? Like a signed photo of Flav, you could win?
They don't want that.
No, they don't. Rob certainly doesn't want it.
Well, Rob was very cut in there, and I for one hope Rob doesn't win because I don't want him to have whatever he likes.
I think you'll be fine. So get yourself in there. Luke Ball, our wonderful patron. Thank you to all our patrons joining us today. Luke, if you are knocking about, there's the link. Get yourself in to Discord. You are in Discord. Wonderful. Hello, Luke Ball. Luke Ball joins us now. Hi, Luke.
How's it going, mate?
Hello, good. How are you boys?
Really good. You got it about you? You got your about you that you're going to knock Rob off the top? You think you can... how is your quizzing? Football quizzing?
It's not too bad. A bit nervous, excited at the same time, though.
Of course. Perfect. Kind. Really good. Where are you calling in from today, Luke?
I'm calling in from Farnborough.
From lovely, sunny Farnborough. Wonderful.
Where's that?
Christ.
It's
in the
near.
Hampshire region.
Yeah. It's not a million miles from Surrey.
no.
I've been that way. I played football at Farnborough.
So we're about a couple of posh boys, aren't we?
Yeah. How is everyone well? Family well?
Everyone's great.
Lovely, wonderful.
Before we move on, I've got an announcement to make. Earlier on today, I had a COVID test.
Oh yeah.
I haven't got a response. I don't know yet if I've got COVID. But what I would say is, if you've ever, I definitely do have a gag reflex. Is what I'm saying.
Learned that the hard way, didn't you, Flav? We won't get into that now.
Well, no, because like, people are saying I don't. I like Flav. He ain't got a gag reflex, like suggesting that I'm testing it out all the time. When today was the day I found out that I do have a gag reflex. So. Right, go on. Let's. Can you just get on with it?
Yeah. Sorry, Flav. It's right. So it will work like this. You need to get a run of correct answers. Last week, there was a question last week we were asking about 4 Italians who've had Premier League hat tricks. To give you the answers, because some people were saying Graziano Pelle. That was wrong. The 4 Italians to score: Ravanelli, Gianluca Vialli, Zola, and Balotelli. Yes. Anyway. It was then Rob Turner, who's in the chat right now, is apparently all he's seen is Swindon, because he got it wrong, because that was the question he got wrong, which was which Premier League team had their shirt sponsored by Burma Oil. We're going to
hard.
I wouldn't know. I think I would have got that, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might have got that. But then it was when QPR were in the Prem, so it's different. Luke, who do you support?
Chelsea.
You support? Oh, what shame. Right. Okay, we'll press forward. So we're going to stick with Premier League quiz that we had last week. So can you get above Rob's 1, which is top of the leaderboard at the moment? We will find out right now. First question is, which 2 players have scored Premier League hat-tricks against Manchester United?
That's so hard. You can get 1.
I need 2. There are 1, 2, 3 options here.
Can't you just get 1?
If you can get 1, that's fine. We'll move it on. Hat tricks against Manchester United. I'll give you a clue. I'll give you the dates of the games. So 1 was a Blackburn Rovers player in a 4-3 win on the 1st of February 2006. You're not typing, are you?
No, sorry.
Cheeky bugger.
I'm not.
You were fucking typing.
I can hear him typing.
Listen to him. I'm not. We can hear you typing. What are you typing? Be honest.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you got that one incorrect. So Blackburn Rovers 4-3 win, 1st of February 2006. The second one was Liverpool game, a 3-1 win for Liverpool on the 6th of March 2011. Actually, there's 4 people who've got hat-tricks. A West Brom player in a 5-5 tie on the 19th of May 2013. That should help. Or
got that one.
A Chelsea player in a 3-1 win.
Go on. Give us one of those players.
The Chelsea one, was that Samuel Eto'o?
Correct! Yeah. Well done. He's in. Okay, right. We've got one. We walked into it.
I don't want to forget. I'll just make a note. He's got 1 correct. Right?
He's got 1 correct. And he did type. Can you put brackets? He did type, though.
We heard typing. We're not saying he did, but we're just saying clue is we heard typing.
I think I'm starting to realise a lot of these questions are to do with hat-tricks. But anyway, which player scored Wimbledon FC's only...
Hang on a minute. Is every question about hat-tricks?
No, I don't think... No, but a lot of them are. Weirdly, about 8 of them are. About 8 of the 10 are, for some reason. I think it's about goals, more importantly. Which player scored Wimbledon FC's only Premier League hat-trick?
Wimbledon?
It was in 1994... He had a bit of a background in modelling. Little clue for you there.
I know who it is.
I can't give you any more clues than that.
James, while have a little think. But while he's having a think, we could do a bit of production. But I think that we should add some elements to this where they can pass, and they can ask us, and we can help them.
Okay.
And then we can't phone a friend, but they can just, I don't know what, something else.
Yeah, well, Google it. It seems to be one of them. That seems to be one of the options. Anyway, all right. Well, okay, you can. Yeah, that's a good shout, though. Yeah, we could do that. And Rob, you can come back. You can have a go. So here are your options. You can ask James. You can ask Flav.
You can't ask you because you've got the answers right in front of you. You have to ask me. I don't have the answers.
Yeah. Ask Flav. You can ask Flav, or you get one pass. Yeah, there you go. Those are your two.
James and Flav community page has suggested ask the chat as well.
Ask the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's your 3 things. Right, go on then.
Right, go on. What are you saying, Luke? What are you saying?
I think I heard Flav say he knows this one, so we'll go for ask Flav.
He's using his Flav request. Okay, Flav, pressure's on you. Of course, this will be the end of the podcast if Flav gets it wrong.
Is it Dean Holdsworth?
It is Dean Holdsworth. Super work. Great stuff. Unbelievable. From the crowd goes wild. Amazing. Yeah, of course, against Oldham in a 3-0 win on the 26th of April 1994. James would have been just about to celebrate his 8th birthday. Next question. Who was the only Jamaican player to score a Premier League hat-trick? Yeah.
So he's on 2 now.
He's on 2. He's gone into the lead. Although, yeah, Bob can come back. What do you want to do, Luke? What do you want to do?
Bob, another go.
I might have to use the pass on this one.
He's going to use the pass on that one. Fine.
It's
okay.
pass.
Right.
That doesn't add to your tally, the pass.
No, absolutely not.
Still on 2. Still on 2.
Which 5 Italians played Premier League football with Manchester United? Interesting.
What, you have to get all 5?
I want 3.
3.
Yeah.
Matteo Darmian.
Correct. Tension.
Oh.
We're gonna have to push you here, mate.
Yeah, we're gonna have to push you here, mate.
Can't think of any.
One of them's a goalkeeper.
Yep.
Probably before you was even.
Yeah, Flav. This is nice. Flav. He's used that.
How old are you?
19.
Should know better.
Yeah. I'm going to give you. I'm looking at the timing on this. I'm going to give you. You've got 30 seconds left. I need 2 more.
You can ask the chat.
Yeah. Go on then. Let's see what the chat.
Go on in.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, bit more energy, Luke. Bit more energy.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's thinking. Okay, who in the chat would you like to? Are we asking everyone in the chat?
Yeah, they can.
Right. Okay. You've in the chat. You've got. I'll give you 10 seconds, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You've got 10 seconds.
You need one more, chat. You need one more. Giuseppe Rossi.
Correct. He's got it.
Right, there we go.
Okay.
And the goalkeeper was Taibi.
Yep. Rodrigo Possebon and Federico Makeda were the other 2.
Okay, so he's on 3.
He is flying. He is absolutely flying. Loving life. What a moment. What a moment. Okay.
You, just in case you do win, have you been thinking about what you'd like?
Not yet. Didn't want to get too ahead of myself.
True, like that. Really like that. Really respect that. Okay. Hat tricks. No. Next. Which non-UEFA player? I'm not sure I know what that means. So not a European player, I presume.
Yeah.
Has scored the most all-time Premier League goals. Not sure about the grammar there, but I'm reading it as I see it. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna just have to be able to get this one. So yeah, which non-UEFA player has scored the most Premier League goals of all time? I will give you 45 seconds starting now.
Aguero?
Is that your answer?
I'm going to lock it in.
He's locked it in. Love it. Really good, Luke. He's gone. Right, Luke Ball. He's gone with Aguero. The correct answer was Dwight York. That can't be right.
No.
That can't be right, though.
When was this written?
Not sure. I'm nervous now. Let's have a look. That can't be right.
It's not. Aguero's like 3rd of all time.
Yeah, Sergio Aguero is 4th of all time with 180. It's correct. We'll give you a correct. Yes, it's correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Well done. Why is...
I mean, I'm going to find a better quiz next week.
Really strange. I mean, sorry, apologies. We go back. What's he on? 4? Is he on? This could
He's
go
on 4. He is
amazing.
flying. I mean,
Amazing.
even with the lifelines, I don't think Bobby Turner can deal with this heat.
Yeah. I think this could be the end. Right. So we need. So look, if we can keep this incredible run going, we're going to need. I need 4. I think I need 4 of this next question. 4 of the 6 players to have worn Leicester City's number 9 shirt in the Premier League. I know this one's correct. Whenever you're ready, you've got 45 seconds starting now.
Jamie Vardy.
Correct.
That's where it's going to...
Begins and ends there, does it? Whenever you're ready.
I think we'll have to pull the plug.
Really? Is he quitting?
He's lost. He's lost.
You are lost, mate.
Heskey.
Keep up, Luke. Keep up, Luke.
Heskey.
Keep up, Luke.
That
was an correct answer. Or that one. Yes, Ferdinand is correct. It's good.
Who? He didn't say that.
Oh shit! Who did he say? Heskey.
He said Heskey.
Yeah, there you go. Right, he's got Les. There you go. We'll give you Les. Right, you need one more.
What's a shambles?
I'm giving you 10 seconds.
Ajoa.
Who?
No. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. To be fair, you didn't even get all of those two.
Can I have a guess?
You can have a guess, yep.
It's Steve Claridge one.
Steve Claridge is one.
Is Ian Marshall one?
No. Amazingly not.
All right, Adam. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Luke, as well.
Luke. Sorry, Luke. Mate, listen. When you're at my level, you don't remember people's names.
Yeah. Just pass me the ball. He said.
All right, just give me the ball, Luke. I would say though that I've been reading how to influence people, how to make friends and influence people.
All right.
And one of the key ingredients was remember people's
names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke, but I don't think Luke's ever going to get to a position where he can help me. So don't really need to remember his name.
Yeah. And with that said, Luke, thank you for your continued support as a patron.
God bless you, mate. Thank you, mate. Yeah.
Cheers, mate. But now Luke it fires off into the lead there. Amazing. Bobby Turner, don't worry, mate. You can return. The other answers there. Ewan Roberts was the first number 9 in the Premier League. Steve Claridge, Heskey, Darren Eadie was the other one that we were looking for. 2000 to 2002. Wonderful. Really enjoyed that.
It's a shambles.
What's a shambles?
Well, that all of it.
Well, that's all good fun.
Yeah.
Right, guys. If you want to be a patron, then link is in the description. We'll be doing a mailbag every single week, and you could be on the quiz itself. If you want to be on the quiz itself as well, please get in touch because it's a lot easier than me asking you.
Become a patron because times are tough, man.
Times are really tough for us. So give us your money. Which is probably tough for you as well, isn't it? Up to you. Anyway, we'll be back next week. Thanks, Flav. Thanks, everyone.
Love you, mate. Bye.
Love you too.